my friends, it's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said well. Guess where we are today? I'll give you 3 guesses. Wow, you got it on the first one. That's right, we are in Branson, Missouri. I've never been here before, but my grandparents used to come here when I was younger, and they used to tell me different stories about them loving it here, so I decided to swing on through. Plus, what we're gonna vlog today, they invited me about 2 years ago, and I have not been able to make it here, but I wanted to so bad, so I couldn't wait to go see what we're gonna see today. Days with Jordan the Lion, it begins now. So today, and for quite some time, I've been invited to the Celebrity Car Museum here in Branson. This should be a lot of fun because they have 90% of what's here are the actual movie cars. A lot of museums will have recreations or tributes, but this place actually not only has the real deal, but a lot of really bizarre rarities, and that's what makes me want to come here. Oh, and wow, here we have a Transformer. Look at that. This should definitely be fun. So they have so many cars here, they can't even display them all at once. So I'm just gonna focus on the stuff that really interests me, starting with the Miami Vice Daytona Spider. Obviously not the original one because it got blown up by a missile in the series, but this was the car driven by Sonny Crockett in the series. For the first 2 seasons at least. Early in season 3 was when the Stinger missile hit it. But this was like synonymous with the show for quite a while. And you can see they even have wax figures of Crockett and Tubbs back there. And there you can see them with one. So I really love this one because this was screen used for Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, Rick Moranis movie. This is the car that we see the baby, once he's blown up, he's carrying that car around like it's a little toy. So that would have been like the baby hand back here. And they said this was never actually a working car. It was just a facade that they made for the effects and everything for the movie. So it says that it was just a fiberglass body. And if you look inside, you can see that it's pretty much completely empty, other than a poster for the movie. And then this one's a big favorite for me because I love this show. Arrested Development. David Cross plays a character named Tobias Funke, who's like a therapist who everyone in the family, even though he's married, thinks that he's closet gay. So he always does things, everything that he does ends up backfiring on him. And this was no exception. He decides he's gonna get a new start to his life because no one understands him. He's in this car and he's got a license plate that says a new start, but it kind of looks like it says anus tart. So that was the gag for this, having this vehicle. And that show always had insanely funny vehicles because the family basically goes broke and is driving around. Since they at one time had a private plane, they're driving around a truck that has the stairs on it. So funny to see Tobias's car. And they said that they even sell the license plates here in the gift shop. And they have a lot of screen used Fast and Furious from all those movies. I'm just not a huge fan, so if that's something you're into, definitely come check it out. But I am definitely interested in a Dr. Seuss mobile being driven by R2-D2 and a Minion. That I definitely have to show you. That looks like that is Taylor Lautner's car from A New Moon from the Twilight series. That's one of the cars from True Blood. HBO's True Blood. That's actually one of the screen used cars. I believe this was Suki's car. And then the Clear History car, that was a show starring Larry David. Now that is really cool because I love the movie Twister, and this was one of the trailers that they're hauling behind one of the vans when they're out storm chasing. And they even put a mimic dot in the back. That's what they would send up into the air, or up into the tornado. And here, this is the actual screen-used Herbie fully loaded car, starring Lindsay Lohan, and they said they made 4 Herbies for the movie, and this one was designed with a hydraulic ram and an extra 5th wheel to allow the car to lift up and ride on 2 sides when it does the skiing move, and they actually have a picture of it doing that. I always wonder how they do that kind of stuff in movies, like when Schwarzenegger did it in Twins. This, I believe, is the Viva Rock Vegas Flintstones movie car. They don't have anything describing it here right now. Here is the 1976 AMC Pacer, made famous in Wayne's World. Actually, it's Garth's car with the licorice dispenser, and you can see it says right on the side, right there, driven by Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. I believe I actually saw this when I was a kid. We used to go to Kings Island Amusement Park, and it was owned by Paramount at one time, and Paramount had this car and the Days of Thunder car on display at one time. The Mirth Mobile, baby. That's when they sing, well, first off, they're picking up their buddy who's drunk, Phil, and giving him a ride, but that's when they break out into doing Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. Phil, you're partied out. Again. I see a little silhouette of a man. So this is funny, I just met Scott, who is the owner here, and we were just talking about the Wayne's World car, and you said this actually was the one.
Yeah. This is actually one that went to Paramount Park. You know.
You said they have multiple cars for all the movies.
Cars. Yeah. In the first movie there were multiple cars. In the second movie there were multiple cars. They even made a limo and a convertible. And this particular one sat out at the park. When they got done, they sent them all to the park, and they sat there and they rusted until they finally were disposed of, and then different ones became different things. You know, one of them went to the guy, went to Pawn Stars, and then went to the auction. One of them became the Good Burger car.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Keenan and Kel. Yeah.
That one rusted to the ground, and I think someone in St. Louis has that. Like there's a burger joint or something in St. Louis.
Really?
They bought that, and they're restoring that. And this one here was one of them, and you know, this one's still titled to Paramount Park, so it's just
so crazy. And I'm glad you mentioned. A lot of people wonder. They'll go, "Oh, I saw the real car in Louisiana. How does this?" There are multiple cars, and sometimes they're promotional cars. Like you said, they'll make another one that they promote the movie with, and then if the actor sits in it, then it's, you know.
Then it's gold. The other thing is we actually have the screen used because this one here, it's one of the regular cars, and it might have been used to slide around a corner or, you know, do whatever. I'm guessing it's a stunt car because I think the one Pawn Stars had is like the main car.
The hero.
Yeah, the hero car. But one car that we do have that you know, we can say it's screen used for sure is out at the warehouse. We've got the convertible from Wayne's World 2, where they do the Thelma and Louise.
Yeah! Oh, I gotta see that. That's great.
Yeah, we bought that one from Planet Hollywood. It was hanging up in Manhattan. It was like on the wall. There.
I think I saw that when I was a kid, actually.
Absolutely. So.
Now, this is another thing that I loved. You have Daniel LaRusso's Cobra Kai gi from Karate Kid 3, and you said there's an interesting story to this.
There is. This is actually the second one that I've owned. The first one that I had, I sold to a gentleman on eBay, and this one here, Star Wares on Main, is who got all of these. When the show wrapped, they wound up getting all of LaRusso's gis, and I mean, I think there was like 4 or 5 of them. And so I bought one. My father and I were in business, and we bought one, and I sold that one eventually on eBay. And then this one, Marsha with Star Wars had sold it to Plant Hollywood. And when Plant Hollywood sold some of their stuff here recently in an auction that was kind of hush-hush, I knew exactly what it was.
Did you happen to get it before Cobra Kai?
Oh yeah, like
awesome.
Like
So you probably like now that would be super
yeah.
sought after, because I don't know if you've seen it on eBay. They're selling Daniel's red gi from the second movie. $250,000 is what it's listed at.
Well, I didn't do it, like, we have a museum, we don't do it for the money, but like, I wouldn't sell this, but holy cow, that's crazy.
I'm with you. That is such a cool piece to own. So here we have what says a 1993 Jeep Wrangler. This was number 18 from the movie. So we see it at the beginning of the movie. It's the one that transports Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm from the helipad to the main visitor center. There they have a picture of it right there. Now, I did not see Halo, but that is from the movie Halo, and it was just so amazing and so impressive that they had it. I wanted to show it for the people that are fans of it. I can totally appreciate a really inventive prop, and this is definitely one. And here they have a little bit more Jurassic Park. You can see this one's been mangled up for the movie. Look at all that. The wall, the side and the mirrors and everything are taken off.
This thriller video thing, and it's
oh, this was Corey from Glee. Gotcha. Who's now passed away. Yeah, you said this was his thriller video.
Yeah, they did like a thriller thing out on the field, and they shredded all of their football outfits and stuff. And this is the actual screen used one that he wore. Unfortunately, he's passed away since.
Tell me about the Axel Foley jacket here.
Now, one of my favorite Hollywood things is the Detroit Lions jacket that Eddie Murphy wears in the Beverly Hills Cop series.
Yeah.
Now, in the movies he wore them. I used to have one of the jackets from Beverly Hills Cop 3, but you know,
I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I love that one. It was so quirky and funny. I just love that. But this one came up recently for sale. It's all distressed. This is actually from the TV series, and it was the one where he kind of passed the jacket along to his son, and I can't remember his son's name in that, but it was Brandon Jackson, I think, played him.
From a 2013, like you said, a series that never was.
Yeah.
So this is the motorcycle from Daybreak?
Yes. You couldn't tell by looking at it, but this is actually a 2018 Triumph Bonneville, and I'll tell you, they've distressed it down to where it looks like it's just crazy old. You know what I mean? It's actually got like 50 miles on it.
That's awesome.
Okay? And you can see right here, they made the barbed wire. It's out of rubber. Okay,
oh,
this is metal, but this is rubber.
And same with the spikes and stuff.
The
it's like
spikes and all that. The interesting thing, and there's some spoiler alerts here, but the interesting thing about this bike is that this was Matthew Broderick's in this kind of series that they have on Netflix. But in the series, the kid that's playing in it is a lot like Ferris Bueller, because he's like looking at the camera and talking. He's like, "Now, this is how you kill a zombie," or "This is what you do. This is how you avoid this." Yeah. And so it's kind of that. But then the bad guy, the principal at the school, and the bad guy is Matthew Broderick. And so you get to kind of check that out. And I think his name is Baron von Triumph.
Like a role reversal for him.
It was purchased on a CMT television show called Raiders of Rock, and a buddy of mine, Stephen Schutz, found this in a 9-year-old gentleman's backyard, and it was all in pieces and stuff. And this was the original bike that Elvis had ordered. It was a Rupp's Centaur, I believe that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, he had a couple of these actually.
Yeah, and he actually did. But what happened is he ordered it, and he got tired of waiting on it, and he went to Super Trike or whatever the name of the place was there in Memphis, and wound up buying 3 other bikes.
Which I've seen at Graceland's.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
But this was the initial one he ordered, lost the patience for, and there you go. And when we got it, it was in boxes, and we had it fully restored, and now it's getting ready to head over to Europe. The original paperwork from Honda where he bought it back in the day.
Lee Marvin's motorcycle. That was not the kind of bike I would have expected Lee Marvin to ride.
You know what was crazy is back in the day, all of those Hollywood rich guys, you know, the guys that just had the money, you know, they all had ranches in Beverly Hills.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like back then, property was valuable, but it's not as valuable as it is today. And what they would do is they would ride around on these, and they would have like rifle holsters and stuff on them, and they would go out and go bird hunting in Beverly Hills. You know,
that's so funny.
Nowadays, of course, you could never get away with that. But
that's great. What a cool piece to own. It's kind of interesting. You have Tim McGraw's road wardrobe case.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, a lot of people just they don't get to see, you know, what it's like. But when you're out on tour, and I've been on tour with many bands, but when you're out on tour, these road cases basically hold your life. And this was like,
it's a locker room.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah. So they put their sound equipment, their wardrobe, and this would have all of the different things that Tim McGraw would need when he's on tour, including, you know, a mirror to get ready, you know, his hanging clothes would be in here.
And now he's an actor.
Yeah, I know, he's a great actor too.
This is the car from Edgar Wright's Baby Driver, and I'm always a fan of Edgar Wright. He did like all the zombie movies and everything,
absolutely,
so.
Absolutely. Now this one here is really special. They had, with all of these movie cars, they might have had 3, 5, 7, you know, with this one there were a few. I think there was like 6. But this one is the most special out of all of them because, you know, these little Subarus, they come in front wheel drive and all wheel drive. There's no such thing as a rear wheel drive, but this is a rear wheel drive Subaru. They built it for the show so that they could do all the crazy slides and spins and drifting. This was the drift car. And so it's got the little drift brake inside and it's rear wheel drive.
So just beyond the fact that it's a historical car from the films, it would probably garner a pretty penny if a collector just wanted something like that for a Subaru car.
Absolutely. Well, and just because of what it is, the Baby Driver car really it's got a following, and I've been offered 6 figures for this car and turned it down.
That's so cool. I love what you're doing here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And, you know, I haven't always been able to hang on to things because, you know, sometimes you gotta eat, sometimes you gotta buy the next
right
thing.
And sometimes you probably just fall out of love of seeing something sometimes.
Yeah, and there are times, you know, but then years later I'll be like, man, why did I ever sell that? This came from Universal.
It's the Land of the Lost vehicle.
It's very possible that this was the car from Lost Boys also, because if you think about it, it was the same model and so forth, same color scheme even. And
right.
This was sitting around at Universal. As a matter of fact, when I got it,
I would say they're known for having like a 4-floor warehouse of old cars, including like the Columbo car and everything. You're probably right.
Is it was definitely from Land of the Lost. This was Will Ferrell's car.
I loved this movie. This was Leonardo DiCaprio, Inception. This was a heavy scene too. That's when they basically get shot up and have that whole crash in the back. Didn't I read that somewhere that this is like kind of a prop car in some way, or? This car is a prop car. In the first place, you might notice a lot of these cars have these bullet holes in them, right? Yeah, the like decal.
Yeah, we call them squibs. What they actually do here is they'll drill, like the FX department will drill the holes where they want them. They'll actually lay out a map. You know, they'll have like a piece of paper, and then they'll lay it out on the hood, down the doors, in the roof, and they'll drill all those out. Then they take a little ball-peen hammer and round them off, knock them in. Then they put explosives back behind it, and they wire it all together into like a loom, and it'll go into the car, and either someone's under the dashboard setting them off.
So that's how
they... the remote, yeah.
Wow.
And then what they do is they'll take Bondo, and they wipe the Bondo in, and then they paint the hood. And so you see this perfectly good hood, and they'll have like 4 of them, because in case they screw up the tape.
Right.
And so they'll just take another hood and they'll put it on, they'll run the wiring inside the car.
And that's how you get the bullet holes in real time in the filming.
Yeah, so there's just a guy on the side going, he's with a remote going, ba-ba-bam, 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 you know what I mean?
Very cool.
There is also what's called the pin gag car. And I can show you later when we get around to the back side, but basically they cut out a section in the back and make it where it's safe for a stuntman. So they'll floor it and run it into another car or a wall, and there will be a cutout space for that stuntman so that he's like, oh.
Awesome, I would love to see that.
It's called the pen gag, because it's like pinning them to something.
Yeah.
Gave away back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, because Tattoos didn't have his own picture on there, but it's a nice little touch. Sorry for saying little, but nice touch.
The El Camino from El Camino.
The Breaking Bad movie.
This is actual screen used also.
Wow.
These things were really difficult to put together because they had to find the gauge there, which I think is the same gauge out of the Fast and Furious Charger. And the seats are actually out of a Toyota MR2.
Oh, okay.
And so a lot of things about this. Also the topper on the back that comes off. That was the whole reason he asked Jesse to come out, was to help him take the topper off.
Yeah, that's great. And we have another Breaking Bad car. Is that the one where Walt shoots him in the car?
Yes, this is actually Mike's Buick Century. This is the one where Walt comes up to the door and he shoots him, and you can see the blood splatter in the passenger.
Oh yeah! Right, oh yeah!
And there's still, the glass is gone. There's glass all in the floorboard there. And then you see the dent up here where he let off the brake and then went all the way forward into a rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right there.
So
that is so
like
cool.
The Mike death car. Even though he didn't die in the car, he got out and walked to the river, but still.
Walt just goes so bad throughout this series.
He does.
Now this, oh my gosh, man. I remember as a kid seeing this scene, seeing him pull the guy off the motorcycle. That is what started my love for motorcycles right there. That's the real Rambo motorcycle?
This is one of, I believe there was at least 2, if not 3 of these. You can tell kind of the difference in the gas tank there. The stock gas tank is way different than that. And if you look at it, I think the red goes all the way up and the black's just kind of underneath. But in the Rambo bikes, they did them custom. This one has been fully restored. I didn't restore it, someone did. I prefer them to be as they were on screen.
I agree.
But the 2 that I know of, I think they've both been restored. So.
When did you acquire this? I mean,
this is about a year ago from a museum in Denver, and he acquired it from a private collector who has a lot of crazy stuff, including, I think he had the Risky Business Porsche.
Really? Because I was wondering, because I know that Stallone likes to keep a lot of the, like he has
I wouldn't doubt it.
He has the car from Cobra and stuff like that got destroyed. He had it restored and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So
I wouldn't doubt if he doesn't have one at his place too.
Guy just wanted something to eat, man. Wasn't his war. So tell me about this case. I see some Van Halen stuff in here.
So this stuff all came from Ed Loeffler. He was a huge music producer and a force back in the 80s and 90s, and unfortunately he passed away in the early 90s right after Van Halen's success. But Van Halen was like he propelled them into all of the crazy stardom that they had in the 80s and the 90s. And right here you can see the 3 Moon Men that they got back
MTV awards.
Yeah, absolutely. That they received an award for best video of the year, best editing, and best direction. And I was able to get these from his widow. She wanted them to be in a good place where people could see them. As you can see, one of them was broken.
Oh yeah, right there. Doesn't have a base like the others have. That's what makes it unique, though.
Absolutely.
For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge Tour.
And you can see there's his Van Halen briefcase. The same kind of material as like the Tim McGraw cases and the road cases that they have. And you see the EL on it, where it's Ed Loeffler.
Ed Loeffler, yeah.
And then, you know, his platinum albums. Hey, hey, we were monkeys.
Mickey Dolenz, the only surviving monkey.
Came from a storage sale out in California, but the original Gone in 60 Seconds.
What a movie!
Director's chair, and also some of his you know, road boxes.
Didn't he keep all that stuff? Like
he died. He was actually killed in a tragic accident. He was filming something, and like I think a tower fell and a guy wire or something, but he was actually, unfortunately, he was killed.
Tell me that is David Carradine's car. Tell me that's the Death Race 2000 car.
This is the one that used to be at the Volo Museum.
Huh. God, what a great movie. That was the first thing I remember.
I think this is
Stallone's first movie, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That is so cool, I love it. I love this car, but I've never seen the show, and you said a couple of these are the actual screen-used Supernatural cars.
These are the screen-used Supernatural cars here. The Lincoln is Castiel's Pimp Mobile. It actually has hydraulics and a crazy stereo system.
And they work?
And they work. And see, in the show, he's an angel, right? And that's him. And so in the show, he's an angel, and he's like, they're like sitting around going, we don't have a car. And he's like, well, I have a car. He goes, but it inexplicably stopped. Like, because he couldn't understand that you put gas in cars to make them go. And so the next scene, you see Dean walking with gas can, and he's the main star of it. And so like all the main stars have driven this car, and it's actually screen used from the production. Bobby Singer's hero car from Supernatural. This is a 1971 Chevelle SS.
I love it. I always wanted one of those.
And it's actually a true SS big block. And if you can see on it, all of this distress is all painted on. Like, they've distressed this car intentionally. They've slopped on Bondo, and you know, they'll take like a wizard wheel.
Yeah, you can definitely tell right up here. I mean, those are like brush strokes.
Yep. So they try to make it just as bad as they can.
I see that one from The Amazing Spider-Man. You said this is from Percy Jackson?
Yep.
I haven't seen that yet. Then you have some Transformers cars over here.
You got Bumblebee. This is one of the process cars from the movie Bumblebee. When the car is trying to put the main star together with her guy, like the seats are like, they drop down and then it kind of like goes like this. You know, it's like trying to
put them together, yeah.
Coax them into being together. So this is the effects car.
That's really cool. Now, this wasn't in the movie, but this was a promotional thing that they did because when I was a kid and the movies originally came out and the cartoons came out, one of the like action figure things that they made, or one of the vehicles they made for the action figures, was a pizza shooting vehicle, and so that's what this was. This was a promotional pizza shooter, because you can see right here the pizzas where they would come out the side. It's for the recent reboot movie that they made a few years ago. Just something cool. Then one of the actual Robocop 3 Ford Tauruses. Anybody that watches wrestling remembers Robocop was wrestling. What a sight that was. That was one of their ideas for promoting the movie. He was Sting's tag team partner. And then this is the Jaguar used for Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn movie. Now this is really amazing. Take a look at this. This is the 1960 Cadillac that Jackie Kennedy and John F. Kennedy Jr. rode in during the funeral procession for John Kennedy's funeral. Limo has been in storage for 30 years. Wow. What a sad day that was. This Kawasaki is one of Nicolas Cage's personal motorcycles, but I was really blown away when I saw the Mad Max Road Warrior motorcycle over here. That's amazing. That is so amazing.
This right here is one of our prized possessions. This actually is one of the bikes. It's the bike that
Vernon Wells, right?
Wells drives. Yeah, exactly. And the seat is actually kangaroo.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you watch the movie and he does like the wheelie, you can see that seat. That's the original seat.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now Planet Hollywood acquired it after the film directly from the vehicle coordinator, and the vehicle coordinator and I are good friends. We're friends on Facebook, and it's amazing. I ask him about the bike, and he sends me pictures every now and then. He'll find something of them like behind the scenes driving the bike or whatever, and he'll send me a picture. But it's just amazing. I was just really thrilled to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it didn't end up in the museum in Australia. So cool to have something here. Now this is one of the few replicas in here, but this is the Mad Max car, and I just wanted to show it because I think it's a cool car.
The one difference between this one and the original is the blower on this one is real. If you see all the distress that they've got painted on this thing, this was Elijah Wood's escape bike in the movie Deep Impact. And so if you'll notice, they took like a little Dremel tool and just made little nicks.
And make it look like,
just to make it look like an old bike when they were going. And I mean, I think this bike probably has what, 41 miles on it, 141 miles on it. You know, it was brand new. They got it from Suzuki or whatever, and then or Yamaha, and you know, they're brand new bikes, so they had to make it look.
Yeah. I couldn't believe this. The Theffrey Mobile. Some of my fondest memories as a kid were going to visit Toys R Us, and I was really bummed to find out that they were, when they closed. Never had seen this. Who made this, or what was this for? What did they do with this?
This was actually made by George Barris, the same guy who made the Batmobile and
the Munster Coach.
Yeah, exactly. He was commissioned to do this in 1979, and they built this car, and it was used in the Macy's Christmas Day Parade.
Oh,
it was
okay.
toured all around the country and used in multiple parades. Now, it has been changed over the years. You know, they've changed the logos, and they've made, I think they put a more modern engine in it, but this is the original Theffrey Mobile, the one and the only.
That is so cool, man. I love it.
That they used when they went and took this thing on tour with the giraffe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it came with original costumes. That is a costume. Gosh, I didn't even notice that. I thought at first it was like a big stuffed animal, but no, that's definitely a costume. Check that out. That's a Rat Fink. The anti-Mickey Mouse. An Ed Big Daddy Roth vehicle. Look at that. Basically sit on like a tractor seat and steer it. And that's the Rat Fink logo. Then if you're a Hannah Montana fan, you're definitely going to want to make it here because they have the farm truck. But I almost didn't notice it because they had the real superstar of this museum right here. Footlong! Who's got the Footlong? Yeah, really funny. It's a shaggin' wagon. God, I love this car. Wow, how did you get the Dumb and Dumber shaggin' wagon? Oh my gosh.
Walmart commercial. Have you ever seen the Walmart Famous Cars commercial?
No. Oh, yeah.
This is this one. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is the one that does the jump in the Walmart commercial. They actually put hydraulics in the back. This car's been redone several times since I've owned it because we've allowed it to be in some crazy commercials and crazy little promotions and stuff.
I was going to ask you that. When you get these cars, do they ever put a stipulation saying it can't be used for something else as part of the purchase, or
not normally? I mean, there are certain studios that do. There are certain cars that do, and those are ones that we just avoid.
Okay.
You know? I mean, it's for us, it's just about bringing a little bit of Hollywood close to where people can touch it, and whether it's whether it's a promotional vehicle or whether it's a screen used vehicle or what, we're always trying to just let people get close to, like, where can you touch a Marvel car?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. car. Yeah,
it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. car. This was used in the Avengers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Iron Man 2, like all these different movies, and it's right here. But you know, this car traveled, you know, around the world to do all of the different things that it's done, but now it's here where people can come and they can stand next to it and take a picture, or you know. And so it kind of gives a little bit of Hollywood to, we're here in the Midwest, you know.
Yeah.
Not everyone can make it out to Universal to do the tour or.
And this is a family destination,
absolutely,
so.
Absolutely, and you know, when the wives want to maybe go down to Tanger Mall and do a little bit of shopping, then the husbands are like, we're gonna go look at some cars, you know.
So he told me that I can actually sit in Harry's seat. Holy cow! Actually, it kind of dawned on me it'd make more sense to get a better view over here from Jim Carrey's seat.
We're really doing it, Harry! We're really doing it, buddy!
Hey Harry, you want to hear the most annoying noise in the world? This totally made my day. This made my trip to Branson seeing this. All right, my friends, I hope you all enjoyed this. We're gonna call it a day. We'll reconvene in a second video. There's just way too much to see, and we have to get out to their private warehouse. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.